Hello and welcome. You're watching The Money Show, and I'm Kavita Thapliyal, and this is our very special edition of World Investor Week. Yes, you heard that right. World Investor Week 2025 is a global campaign being celebrated under the aegis of International Organization of Securities Commission and SEBI from 6th of October till 12th to raise awareness about the importance of investor education and investor protection. ET Now has always looked out for the investor, and keeping in line with the channel's ethos, we will be creating special programming for World Investor Week from 6th to 11th October. So all you have to do is tune into the Money Show at 5 p.m. on ET Now every day this week to hear from our experts who will share actionable insights on how investors can better manage their personal finance portfolio. We will be bringing this special programming to you with our banking partner, State Bank of India. So let's begin, and today let's focus on unclaimed money. Yes. Do you know this? That nearly more than 2.5 lakh crore of Indians' hard earned money is lying unclaimed across the financial system. Money that belongs to people like you and me, but no one has claimed it yet. It is sitting with banks, insurance companies, mutual funds, and even the Investor Education and Protection Fund, that is IEPF, just waiting to be claimed. And that's why the government recently launched a campaign, Aapki Punji, Aapka Adhikar, to help rightful owners or the families get back what's truly theirs. Finance minister has assured that all this money is safe, but if no one claims it for years, it eventually gets transferred to IEPF or similar institutions. Now, let's just also look at the numbers, which are very alarming. Unclaimed mutual fund investments, close to about 3,452 crores in FY 24-25, which is up 20% in just 1 year. Unclaimed redemption amount is almost 1,128 crores, that is up 10%. Unclaimed dividends are almost around 2,324 crores, which is up 26%. Unclaimed bank deposits are over 78,000 crores. Unclaimed shares and dividends with IEPF are around 84,393 crores. Unclaimed EPF, which is inactive accounts, this amount comes to around 8,500 crores. And unclaimed life insurance proceeds is somewhere around 20,062 crores. Now, together, we are looking at lakhs and crores of wealth that's not reaching its rightful owners. Now, why does this happen? Because of small but very costly mistakes. People change their mobile number, email addresses, but never update them in their bank or mutual fund records. Bank accounts linked to folios get closed or changed, leading to payout failures. Multiple folios or fragmented holdings make tracking difficult. And perhaps the biggest reason, no nominee, no will. When the investor passes away, the family either doesn't know about the investments stuck in endless paperwork to claim it. And that's why today's discussion is crucial. We are talking about unclaimed investments and, more importantly, will and succession planning, because it's just not about creating wealth. It's about preserving it, ensuring it reaches the right hands at the right time. So, joining me today are Vishnu Chundi, founder, Rasanville, Vikas Agrawal from Share Samadhan, and Amit Roy, PwC India. And together we'll explore why such a huge figure of unclaimed amounts, why updating your nominee details is non negotiable, and how to create a simple, valid will and a succession plan to ensure a smooth transfer of assets. Good evening and welcome all of you to this very important show. And let's begin with Vikas over here. Vikas, nearly more than 2 lakh crore worth of money is lying unclaimed across banks, EPFs, insurance, investments, and more other asset classes as well. Now, that's definitely staggering. From your experience, we want to understand what are the most common types of unclaimed assets people forget about. What's the typical journey of this money from lying idle in an account to finally landing up with IEPF or other authorities?
Yeah, so Kavita, pleasure having me on the show. Uh, so far as the various class of unclaimed assets, generally, in old days, people used to invest in physical shares. Over a period of time, most of the shares, government has given a directions to make it dematerialized. But still, to your surprise, more than 2.5 lakh crore worth of physical shares, including unclaimed shares, are still there in the country. uh, the other asset class can be unclaimed PF, where employee keep on changing their job. Sometimes finds it difficult to either withdraw their PF or to transfer from one employer to another. Third unclaimed asset class can be unclaimed matured insurance. where the policy premium fully paid, but still the insured either forgot or in case of any contingency, their family finds it difficult to withdraw. Like these, various other unclaimed assets can be unclaimed dividend, unclaimed bank deposit, unclaimed mutual fund. And to your surprise, Kavita, this does not restrict only to financial asset class. It goes beyond the financial asset class like unclaimed properties as such. The procedure to claim all those asset class are actually different because no single authority deals with these unclaimed assets. For shares, you have to deal with IPF. For insurance, it is governed by IRDA. PF is governed by some other authority. So not that easy to claim it. You can open a bank account in India in 5 minutes, but difficult to close a bank account. So if the investor is alive, relatively easy. But if investor is not alive, for their family, it becomes actually difficult affairs to deal with it. Government is thinking very seriously in this direction in terms of having a consolidated network or database where the family need not roam around from pillar to post to access to know the information of their unclaimed assets and then to claim it later on.
Right, right. Vishnu, now let's take the conversation to a very crucial aspect of your entire financial behavior and planning. Many people feel a will is only for the rich or elderly. How do you break that myth? How early in life should one ideally make a will, and what's the simplest way to get started? Vishnu.
Absolutely. Firstly, congrats on picking yet another great topic. So definitely a will is not for the rich and the elderly alone. We all work extremely hard for our wealth. And in our own way, legacy means for every individual, especially in a country like India, which is so family oriented, we all work supremely hard so that our next generation is happy and is able to benefit from our efforts. One of the best documents for this is obviously the last will and testament that an individual writes. And it includes all your assets. So your real estate, which typically makes up the bulk of it, then your fixed deposits, your insurance policy, demat accounts, bank accounts, and so on and so forth. It doesn't actually take that long a time. It's not a very complicated document. In fact, today I would urge everybody as part of this World Investor Week awareness, just take 5 minutes to educate yourself on what a will and testament is. It's literally a document that mentions all your assets, who gets what, and that will give you a lot of peace of mind because we do live in a very uncertain world. I think this is not complex enough for you to postpone it because you feel like you don't have the right guidance. So those are, I think, some of the basics about writing a will. Anybody who is beginning to earn money for themselves, I think should contemplate this. And if you are already having dependents in your life, so for example, if you're married, if you have a kid, most people in India don't appoint a legal guardian for their minor children. It's extremely dangerous. Like, who is going to take care of the child's education and the future well-being if you don't have a legally appointed guardian? Guess what? You can mention that in the will also. So it's a very important document. You don't have to be a billionaire or a multimillionaire for a will. Your money is extremely important to you and for your family. So don't create issues for them later down the line, because in the absence of a will, it can cost several lakhs and, most importantly, months or probably even years for your family members to access your wealth, your physical assets. And if it is a demat account, imagine shares that are not operated for substantial periods of time. You know how fluctuating this market can be. So you're actually leaving up a big mess for your family members if you don't take a small action for a few thousand rupees today.
Absolutely. Very important points.
Time for a short break and we'll be back soon.
Amit, now from a financial planning and compliance standpoint, why do such lapses happen? Is it more due to lack of awareness or simply poor record keeping? How can individuals or families create a simple but systematic process to track and consolidate their investments, especially across multiple folios, accounts, or asset classes?
Kavita, I would say it's a mix of two different sides of the entire aspect. while a lot is depending on the individual, how they, and because Vishnu touched upon the need of keeping your financial hygiene open to the family and all of that. Look, I think value system wise in India, people believe investing in silo is a very secret thing. People even don't discuss with spouse or they don't open up. Normally it is done, sometimes they discuss with the friends, or normally it is done with the advisor. The problem is that if you are not discussing your investment with your family, your spouse, children, educate them about where all you are keeping it. And as a matter of discipline, keep refreshing the investment all the time. Keep parallel records, keep digital, physical forms of that. In all probability, there are chances that whatever you are investing or whatever you are keeping for future would not get used because family will not get to know about it. Because touched upon maturity claims. India, along with maturity claims, the amount of death claims which are never reported because the family doesn't know is humongously high, one of the highest in the world. The second aspect that I like to touch upon, let's not forget the reported cases of Alzheimer's in India among the senior citizens is already 8%. 8 million people apparently suffer with Alzheimer's, and these are reported cases. I am thinking that possibly unreported cases could be 10 times of whatever the number that we are looking at. Now, with such diseases and the average age of survival now increasing for India, I believe that it is a matter of extreme important personal hygiene to keep visiting your financial investment records, keep sharing that with the family. That's on the side of the investor. The other side that I would like to touch upon is the group of people who are providing those financial aspects to these individual, which could be like insurance company, which could be like investment, other investment zones. The alacrity that you see at the time of onboarding the customer, subsequently, in terms of keeping records and keeping hygiene of interacting with the family, unfortunately, is not there. The entire focus is on the customer. So there's a know your customer. But I keep talking about know your customer's family also. So I think India has to make this transition from KYC to KYCF, which is extremely important for India at this point of the time.
Right, right. Lots to be done over here. But then Vikash, let's also understand that what happens if you don't do all of these things. So when families reach out, to claim such old investments, Vikash, what kind of challenges or documentation hurdles do they face? Is there a time limit beyond which money is permanently transferred to IEPF, and how easy or difficult is it to reclaim after that? What's the struggle that one has to really go through? Please explain this, Vikash.
Yeah. So, Kavita, so far as IEPF is concerned, there is a regulation that if somebody is holding shares in physical form and the dividend is not getting deposited for 7 consecutive years,
Mm-hmm.
then after 7 years, along with the dividend, the corresponding shares also goes into this particular account called IEPF. But
Okay.
after it goes to IEPF, the government holds those shares as a trusteeship and gives a leeway to the family or the investors to claim it back from governments. Like this, there is a regulations for PF also, insurance also. There is a time limit. After that, it goes to a different fund. In case of insurance and PPF, it goes to senior citizen welfare funds and others. Now, the process of claim, Kavita, is not very simple. It's a cumbersome process for a reason that if somebody who has not claimed their assets for so many years and suddenly if he comes up, or if he or her family comes up to claim those assets, the regulatory looks those cases from a suspicious point of view to ensure that they are the actual claimant. And hence, the compliances part becomes little more cautious. One is to prove that they are the legal heir of the deceased. If somebody is already alive, they have to give all the compliances, to prove. And then the process starts from first the company where the shares are stuck up. They have to deal with company secretaries, RTAs. Once they are satisfied, they call for all compliances. Then, to claim these shares from government, you have to then pursue with the respective authorities of government. So yes, it's a time consuming process, but government is protecting those assets. Otherwise, a lot of frauds has happened
Right.
earlier, where a lot of people have claimed it without ownership.
Right, right. Vishnu, today with digital wills and e-registrations, how is technology making succession planning easier and more accessible? Do you think it's going to help an individual, start thinking about will making not as a very difficult task or a cumbersome task, because that is also one of the mindsets, that first, who should you be passing on what kind of assets, and then how to make the will. So do you think this technology driven plan, or digital wills, that will really easen out and smoothen out the entire process and will also give a mental relief?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd like to just clarify that technology, and now we live in a post AI world, and it's extremely easy to start your will journey online. But it is also important to get it printed and then sign it in front of a registrar. So that's what we heavily recommend. So always get your wills registered. So
Okay.
technology can obviously help you save a lot of time. You don't have to meet with a physical lawyer multiple times. And with us, you'll get a transparent pricing. So the pricing will not be a function of how wealthy you are. So life will be a lot easier. And as Vikas mentioned, I think the important thing to realize here is if you don't have a will and if there's unclaimed money, then obviously, I mean, we shouldn't blame the government bodies to be circumspect, because they have to do their job, which is to create a bulletproof process so that the legal heirs, the rightful legal heirs, are getting it. And in the absence of a will, you will have to then get a legal heir certificate, which is not a trivial document. It takes several months, if not years. It costs a couple of lakhs of rupees in India. And you're just subjecting your loved ones to such a traumatic time, especially post bereavement. So I think the smart way to do it, and because we take responsibility for investments, for saving, but we should also take responsibility for wealth transfer. This is not something you can delegate and put it in the government's code saying that they should do everything and they should create this system for us. Because ultimately, it comes down to us. We're a large country, 150 crore people. By the way, just the unclaimed amount is probably will be number 6 as a state annual budget in India. It's over 3.5 lakh crores now. That's definitely more than Telangana's annual budget, probably a couple of times that of Delhi's annual budget. So if you see this number in a post fintech digital world, we just had GFF. It's only going to explode because it's super easy, as Amit said, to open a bank account, open a demat account. But how are you going to get on top of all of these various asset classes, which are not even physical anymore? Like even your listeners now, they will really struggle to have like a Excel to see their total net worth in one place, because the last account you opened maybe when you first joined work 15 years ago. So my sincere urge is take some time out as part of this wonderful World Investor Week. 5 minutes, first map out all your assets, make a good list. If you're comfortable, talk to your family, because ultimately we are not going to take this wealth with us to the next level. Please don't feel ashamed of your hard work. If you think it's low, it's fine, because it's still your hard work, post-tax income. And think of it as your life's effort that you have put in for your family members. And remember, this is not unclaimed money. It is actually unplanned money.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
it's so silly. So don't do that.
Absolutely. It is not unclaimed, but unplanned money. So when we talk about planning, Amit, do you think, or should India think about a national registry of financial assets, something that brings all investments under one umbrella? Do you think that can be done? Do you think it's time to do it now?
Kavita, that's a great idea. And I was about to talk something like that. We have already seen that a national digital health exchange is getting talked about.
Yeah.
We have a
Yeah.
crop portal.
Yeah.
We are talking about digitization of entire land holding. Somehow, I am quite incorrigibly optimistic that policymakers will make it definitely easier for people to keep. I think the problem is lying somewhere else. like Vishnu mentioned, somehow people feel that it's not enough. So maybe this much is not enough. So my family will not like it. Or maybe if I discuss everything with the family, they'll stop treating me properly. I think these myths have to be busted. And that actually calls for a lot of investor education. And it cannot happen when someone is at 25, 30. So I'm a strong advocate in all the fora that financial literacy and investment education should be a part of school curriculum. I think that's a good start to do.
Absolutely. So, in a nutshell, remember, earning money is important, but ensuring it reaches the right person or right hands is even more important. Nominee addition, a proper will, and a clear succession plan. These are the real pillars of your family's financial security. And with that, thank you so much, all three of you, for being on the show and helping our viewers today. Thank you so much.